Good morning, everyone. I think I'm coming in loud and clear. Big Ol's already here. How are you, man? If you're here during the stream, as you come in and you would like to ask a question, talk about this comment, and you want me to read it out or answer the question, please leave 3 smiley faces like this example here, and I'll do my best to answer or comment on your question. Now, in light of the video I recently did this week that I uploaded about a tribute to Spetsnaz, a person I considered a friend online that passed away recently, pretty sad to me anyway. You know, with some of the comments underneath the video, and most of them were really positive, and it's really nice to see so many people like the guy, like I did. And he was a really upstanding guy. It also brought to light, you know, some of the spurgy negative comments from juvenile people that keep screaming like toddlers about how men are shamed while they're shaming you. It's so hypocritical. But it brought to light a question that I think we might make a regular topic on streams for points of discussion between us. What is male friendship? And let's discuss this from time to time, just so we're reminded, because we're always reminding ourselves, what's a good woman? What does a relationship look like? But also, because I think a lot of guys don't really have a firm handle on how to relate to others in the sense of judging what a good person is and what trust looks like in another person. And I think this is a fundamental thing between two people, and your ability to have a long-term relationship platonically with a friend or romantically with someone, which you have a lot more at stake in terms of your emotions and how much you put on the line. I had a discussion, a really interesting one, revolving around relating to people, and how if you don't know how to relate properly, that is, to relate in a friendly manner or to how to love or trust, the childish brute, the person with no emotional tact and no ability to relate to anyone properly and fairly and like an adult, all they are left with is bully tactics. All they are left with is power. And I did a chat with Quaz here. Have a look on my chat channel. The link to my chat channel is all the way at the bottom of my main channel here on YouTube, right at the bottom. So click on Human Chats, and it's the first one there. It's a really interesting discussion we had. It was about about basically, without normal compassion, understanding, knowing what trust is, reciprocation, fairness. Without any of that, all you have is a tyrant and a bully trying to get someone to love them, trying to get someone into bed, trying to get money off somebody. So all you are is a power-hungry manipulator having a one-way street relationship with another person. So think about that yourself. Do you enjoy watching drama entertainment on YouTube? Do you enjoy watching people making fun of others? Do you feel good as a man when you watch these podcasts of bimbos being put down and shamed? You don't like being shamed, but you feel good watching other people being shamed. This isn't anything woo-woo, right? But the more you get off on being cruel and feeling rejuvenated and feeling like you got revenge by standing on someone's neck, I don't think that's actually going to serve you when you're on a date with Chicky Poo. Because if that's all you got on your personality and that's all you talk about, what are you going to talk about on a date? What are the words you're going to use? If all you do is talk with your friends online about drama, you get off on drama, you watch drama series on Netflix, and the only thing you have to say in confidence is how stupid other people are and how you're not giving anything. You're not risking anything. They have to give you stuff before you'll even give them a little bit. That sounds very feminine to me. And I don't care if some of you toddlers out there are triggered, but, oh, you're shaming men. No, I'm not shaming men. I'm shaming children, petulant children who are arrogant and rude. Especially, take a look at the comment section. Some of the videos lately. Not me. Look, I don't care. The rude comments, you notice, I don't respond really unless to tell someone to grow up. But, and I think this has to be said, to recognize what a decent person looks like and to ignore them and give them back a momentary amount of shame that they were giving you, just to teach them a lesson, like be a mirror. This is what shame looks like. I'm putting it back to you. Now have a think about things. I'm sorry you never had a father, but as a father figure, let me tell you what it looks like. So have a listen to the conversation between Spetsnaz and I here. It was a really interesting one. Went for about 2 hours or something. And we mainly focused on the difference between power and love, or power and relating properly. You can, because back classically, you look in literature, even Stoicism, men used to love art, love nature. They used to love their fellow man. You knew what love meant in terms of your brother. It wasn't just women. Far from it. Women were one component. In fact, a lesser component of loving the world in general. And you should be able to love your fellow man because it's much more relatable than a woman. But now I feel like guys don't even have a sense of who they are because they find it icky to know what loving your fellow man is. And all they do is act like children, more accurately, schoolgirls, not children, the female side of children in the comments section. And I think these guys should be ashamed of themselves, but obviously they're not. I don't care if they're not. They're not my friends. I don't talk to them. And it wouldn't surprise me if no one talks to them. But when I can't help them with compassion and understanding and trying to make a decent video and talk about, to them, boring things about being a decent human being and communication and listening and being fair and not being cruel, and they just get off on being a kid that's throwing feces around, then fine. Enjoy your little cruel world. Enjoy your heartbreak over and over again and your inability to deal with it other than to make fun of somebody else. End of rant. It needed to be said. But with the topic of today, I think it's very important to recognize what a friend looks like. We talk very often about what a good woman looks like, and we take it for granted that we're good men. All men are great. Are they? Nah. Sorry, fellas. They're not. In the golden age of MGTOW, the manosphere, every single guy that got doxxed and exposed and got his ass handed to him online and got his life ruined was by other men. You name me one person with proof that got doxxed in the comments by women or girl power. None. Absolutely none. I can point to 2 or 3, I won't mention them, that doxed actual guys in the manosphere. And 1 or 2 of them were people with notable sized channels that were playing this stupid childish game. Because I want to make the distinction between a child putting on a superhero costume, calling himself a man, and an actual man that resembles an elder that will tell you to pull your head in and, keep yourself in line, like Spetsnaz would. Now, with some of you idiots in the comments section that, I post a tribute to a man that's passed away, a man that everyone respects, and all you can say is, well, maybe he passed away because of your marriage betrayal, human. You guys can fuck off, quite seriously. You're not men, and of course people don't care about you. I don't care either. Have some manners and have some respect, and then other people will respectfully treat you that way. You'll know what respect looks like. All you know is how girls act, because all you do is watch girls in these podcasts. You don't have good conversations. Why do you think Just focus here for a minute. Why do you think out of everyone in the manosphere, as far as I know, and you tell me if I'm wrong, this isn't me big noting myself. I considered him an online friend. Why was I the only person he felt comfortable talking to? Why did Spetsnaz talk to me the most, did the most podcasts with me? And this isn't me bragging. Him and I just got along really well. He didn't like being around people, but we would always easily want to catch up and have podcasts and do recorded conversations. Look at his videos, how he talked stoically about men. He cared about guys. He wanted you to grow up. He wanted you to be a man. He wanted you to be fair and honorable. And then look at the way some of you guys speak in the comment section. These little schoolyard games that you play. You chase women, and you've been conditioned by women so much that you're acting like them. You know, what is a friend? What is a male friend, guys? It's easy. It's easy and uncomplicated. That's what a male friend is. I did this chat with slip of the tongue. I did this conversation yesterday with Quaz. I haven't seen him for 4 years. His life and my life has changed. As soon as we started talking, it's like we saw each other yesterday. No judgment. I hadn't done anything to him. He hadn't done anything to me. So there's no reason why we can't honorably have each other in the position that we've always been. And I'm being passionate about this because this kind of stuff is important. Knowing what a friend is, knowing what trust looks like, knowing who you can trust, knowing what a decent human being is, and stop playing childish games. This is why it's easier for some of us to have friendships and relationships than you. Ooh, you're shaming men. If you act ridiculous, you should be ridiculed. Same as women. We can quite honest, we can logically say it for women, fine. Put the mirror back on yourself. Stop acting like a stupid bimbo. More than that, you're being rude at the expense of someone who passed away. Pisses me off. But anyway, you know what male friendship isn't? Male friendships are not shaming and drama, the way some of you little schoolgirls act in comment sections. It's not shaming and drama. Let me, I'll give you a quick story without going into anyone's personal details. I had a falling out with an old high school buddy about a couple of years ago. And he was one of these guys that very much doesn't know how to have male friendships, but he's always got a problem with women. Sure, I've had my issues with women, but he is always very controlling. Things have to be his way. And look, his mother left him when he was very young, when he was a baby, which is very cruel, and it's not his fault, right? But that has followed him all his life, and he doesn't want to address it, no matter how much you talk about it to him. Maybe you should get some help, or do you think it's because of this? No, it's not because of that. And he's done very well for himself, and he controls people, and things always have to be his way. And I grew up with him, so I've got that respect of the past, and I'll give him a lot of rope that I wouldn't give anyone else. But a couple of years ago, he really put me down and insulted me and someone in my personal life that didn't deserve it, and told me I was a terrible friend because I wasn't calling him enough. He called me once or twice a week, but I barely called him once every 2 weeks, and it wasn't fair. And this kind of relationship to me isn't a male friendship. It is manipulative, and it's very, very feminine. And why I wanted to note that down was that a male friendships shouldn't feel like a girlfriend. They shouldn't feel like a girlfriend. And I said this to him, he didn't like it. I almost said his name. I said, dude, I'm not your girlfriend. Stop talking to me like that. I don't need to walk on eggshells. I don't need to explain where I've been and check in with you. Stop acting like a jealous girlfriend. You didn't like it, but anyway. So male friendships shouldn't feel like a girlfriend. And male friendships are not a girlfriend replacement. There's too many guys in the comments, I feel like, they've gone from a bad relationship with unresolved Freudian issues with their mother, and they've chased and found a girl, and she's a goddess to them. They break up, she leaves, cheats on them, whatever it might be, which is terrible, right? She was a bad person. And then they go from that to a group of guys, and they treat them as a girlfriend replacement. All of a sudden, the guys are a mirror, and it's like, yeah, you're right. We will listen to you, understand you like no girl has ever. No girl ever will, but they use this space as a girlfriend replacement, and then they act like the insecure boyfriend and shame other girls. So you're a guy in this space, and habitually the other guys act like a girlfriend to you, and then you act like a girlfriend back to some of the guys. And it's this really weird psychological, I can't even say that word, INCEST that goes on. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Have you had friends like this that treat you like a girlfriend? It's like, dude, I'm not your girlfriend. I'm a guy. We should be male friends. Unless I've done something to you, unless I said, John, I'll pick you up from the station at 5. And John's waiting around and I didn't pick him up. And he says, dude, you told me you'd pick me up, like you broke your promise or you lied. It's like, oh, sorry, you admit it. But you don't say, no, I didn't. What are you talking about? Unless you actually do something wrong and break a promise you've made, there is no reason to act like a schoolgirl, guys. And you are just confirming your victimhood of, oh, men are being shamed, or women are like, no one loves me. It's because you're unlovable. You are unlovable. Again, watch this video conversation I had with Quasimandias. If you don't know how to love someone, you don't know how to relate, all you've got is childish power and manipulation like a schoolgirl. Grow up. I'm ranting a bit about this because I thought it was really rude how some people acted. Not all. 99% of you, great comments. And Spetsnaz deserved the well wishes because he was a really great guy. And it's sad that he's abruptly gone. But some of you, if you grew up in Sparta, you wouldn't be here right now. Let's put it that way. You wouldn't have made it past birth. Anyway, rant over. Let me see some of the comments, if I can read them out. Big Ol, how are you? He says, male friendship looks like being truly happy for your brother when he succeeds, without envy, a feature women can only dream of. I think Jordan Peterson mentioned this. He brought it back up to light, but it's something very true. A real friend celebrates your victories and your happiness, doesn't judge you. Coincidentally, this is something that my friend that I had a falling out with did. I had some good news, and he was quick to criticize it because it was taking away from him. He wasn't happy for me. So a good friend, if you're happy, he'll be happy for you. He can warn you and say, dude, just be careful. So a good friend, for instance, when I met Stephanie, would have said, yeah, she's overseas. Take it easy. I'm happy you're happy, but be sensible about things. Nothing wrong with that. But if a friend puts you down and shames you, he's acting like he's fearful of the loss, or he's acting like a girl that he's no longer going to have you around. And men should not be like that, and male friendship should not resemble that. Male friendship should be solid and last the test of time until you betray a friend with something ontologically tactile and concrete, like breaking a promise or overtly lying to him or humiliating the person, especially without apology. Say you do that. The great thing about guys is that we can forgive each other if you are humble and honest about what you have done. I will, look, as a guy, I will humbly and correctly forgive and let it be water under the bridge of all the guys that have been rude under my comment section, as long as they can put their hand up and say, I was wrong for saying this, but I think you should have said this or done it this way, human. It's like, okay, you have a point. You're being civil and decent. But when you act like a child, well, Ted17776 says, amen to what you are saying. Yes. Are they fair and are they kind? I talk about the qualities you need in a woman, and it's not just being feminine, it's being a decent human being by which you can trust them. And that will go for a guy as well. Is he decent and kind and fair? Is he an upstanding person? Is he a person like Spetsnaz that I would happily make a video about, spend the time, because the guy deserves it. And without any jokes, and I know without joking about it, Rocket made a comment that made me smile, but it is accurate. He says, after my tribute to Spetsnaz here, which I encourage you to watch, because I'm proud of the words I put down to say to the man because he deserved them. But Rocket actually said something along the lines of, great tribute. If I don't get a tribute like this, I know I've done something wrong. And there's some truth to that. If you act like a decent person and you don't act like a schoolgirl, your friends will miss you and they will honor you. And you will live in time in the minds of that person, and it will be positive. I miss Spetsnaz, and I do miss that I'll never have another conversation with him. He was a really good guy. I couldn't care less what happens to some of the guys in the comment section. Not necessarily mine, but one or two. You know, the 1%ers that come in and do drive-by schoolgirl comments. The rest of you, I love you all. You know who I'm talking about. Hey, regulars. Neanderthal, how are you? He says, warning, deviant in channel. Is that you, or are you talking about someone else? Yeah. Rod says, my life was changed by Spetsnaz. He was awesome. As I said in the video, if anyone disliked the guy, there's one or two people that said I didn't really get anything from his videos, fine. But some people who are negative towards him point to one thing that deserves negativity from that guy. That guy, you can say, well, I didn't like his accent, I didn't like his delivery, he didn't like how long his videos were, whatever. It might be personal taste. Just like me, some people might not like my accent, the content of my video, my style, whatever it is. But to dislike the guy, just children. Neanderthal says, in Nordic countries, the governments will tell you to have supply for 3 days on your own. True friends will be as important in such a situation. You can trust in a crisis situation, friends. Yeah. A friend will be there when you need them. They will. And they don't throw you under the bus as soon as you have good news or you do something slightly different to what they would do, or they don't agree with your values, but it's actually not doing anything against them. It's really, when you look at it, those kind of feminine friends are the ones where they've kind of got a quasi girlfriend-boyfriend relationship with you, and they're the girl, or they expect you to be the girl. It's like when I've broken up with women who treated me with less than this. What makes you think I'll stick around or say nothing? Neanderthal says, I've recently ghosted a friend who was exactly as humans tells, controlling, can't take any criticism. He was whining about women all the time. Actually, he had begun giving me the serial hugger vibes. Prince Revolver, how are you, man? He says, I had to let go of a friend who was asking me for money. Ooh, yeah. And getting annoyed when I didn't give it to him exactly when he asked for it. That is a money and family, money and friends, like insisting and pushing for that. That is, I always find money can poison everything that's intimate. Maybe because it's closely related to power and the coldness of economics and things like that. But if someone gives you money, I'm always grateful when you guys super chat or donate. It's great. Keeps the channel going, keeps me updating equipment over time, and paying for some of this stuff over time and utilities, and it's great. And I really appreciate. It's kind of like you tip me a beer, we go out for a beer, we buy each other beers. Thanks, dude. I appreciated that video. So you welcome the gesture, but when someone pushes it on you, it's like, dude, buy me a beer. Dude, buy me a beer. Why don't you buy me a beer? It's like, fuck off, man. It's kind of like the expectations of, you need to buy me dinner, you need to take me out, you need to buy me a diamond ring. It's very feminine. Big ol', so true, human. Male friends are low maintenance. They are. Part of the problem men have is that such a difference between men and women, where women are high maintenance. You walk on eggshells, what you said, not how you said it, tone policing. Where were you? It's just like, just leave me alone. I need time away from this surveillance and checking in and needing to calm down your neurotic insecurities. That's why a lot of guys just find it easier to be around guys, like actual male friends, because it's uncomplicated and such low maintenance. As I said, you can not see a friend for years and years. You see them again, and it's like you saw them yesterday, because there's none of that psychological manipulation. He continues, I didn't contact my female friend for months. She demanded an apology, tit for tat. Years without messaging my mate, picked up like it was yesterday. Exactly. Exactly. That's what a male friend looks like. Male friendships are not a girlfriend replacement, fellas. They are not a girlfriend replacement. Hey, Melee, how are you? Peg, how are you? Karu, how are you, dude? David, David, I'm going to give you a wrench. I've been meaning to for a while. Actually, because it's live, it doesn't allow me to. But I will give you a wrench if I can. No, I'll need to give it to you next time when we're not on live. But remind me. I need to remind myself. Give. That means, David, you can get rid of people on the stream or being douchebags. One thing you'll notice as you get older, you write down everything you don't want to forget. Remember, if you'd like to ask me a question or a comment during this stream, 3 yellow circles or smiley faces like this example, and I'll have a look to see it. Also, Stephanie and I just did a live stream this week. If you're interested, have a look here. Where is it? Here. Yeah, we chatted about closed-minded people. Seems like these topics are interrelated. Well, look, it makes your life easier, and you can have better conversations. You're less stressed. You sleep better. Your whole life, the ambience of your life isn't in fight or flight mode. It's interesting. It's curious. It's intelligent. It's fun. Relationships are supposed to be fun. Friendships are supposed to be fun. The content I make is supposed to be fun. Informative, but fun. Sometimes it's serious, right? But all this serious fight or flight and romantic relationships are supposed to be fun. All you guys in fighting mode are missing the point. As I said in my video, Spetsnaz and I, we never fought each other. We weren't debating. We weren't kind of duking it out and trying to win in an argument. We had the gloves off and we were just talking in a friendly fashion. All relationships should be, something like that. Let's see. Melee, he says, you don't need to agree with everyone. Someone says or does. You can be respectful to one another and wish each other the best. You know what I miss in the manosphere back in the day? Where we could live and let live. when I started making videos, there was a lot of people. Spetsnaz just left, right? It's kind of, I just missed his train leaving. Stardust, Coltane, TFM, just there were a bunch of guys, right? And it was nice to be involved, and we were all different, have different perspectives, but we were friendly. We'd have each other on each other's channels for chats, even if we disagreed. But it was just a very mature guy way of, well, I don't understand that. And you could tell which people you didn't get along with, but we always talked. And now it's just so kind of, it's just so sad that everyone's so afraid and doesn't know what a friend looks like and can't just relax and not be threatened by a differing opinion. If the person can talk well and is respectful, he doesn't have to be your best buddy. But, you know, it's why people's worlds online are so small and they feel like they have no friends, because they're so wound up so tight that they don't leave room for more people just by being a bit more relaxed and open-minded. Yes, I have my core group of friends that are closest to me online, but I can be friends further out of my center than most people. Most people online are so suffocated. They are like a Discord voice channel that only has 2 or 3 members allowed. It's not infinite. It's just like you can only have 2 or 3 people in there. And it's like a little schoolgirl clique where you destroy anyone else as soon as it gets more than 2 or 3. You need to be a bit more open-minded and have a live and let live attitude, fellas. Let's see. Yeah, the wrench. With great power comes great responsibility. Prince Revolver says, I've had male and female friends get on me about not keeping in contact. It's nothing personal. I understand people have their own life, so I find not to bother them or be pushy. Yeah, what's a cliche that women will say to other women? Like that passive-aggressive manipulation. Hey, stranger. If a guy acts like that, he's got mummy issues. Where is Coltane? I haven't heard from Coltane in a couple of years. I think he's just I don't think he really spends time. He doesn't make content. Pretty much, I think he's just living his life. So no idea. No idea actually. Great content though. Go have a look. Yep. Nell, my MGTOW Mount Rushmore is. Oh, thank you, but I wouldn't place myself. Yeah, I would actually put Stardust, Barbarossa. No, I would put Stardust, Paul Proteus first, Stardust, and Spetsnaz. They're my top three. Mount Rushmore. Barbarossa, yes, and then I'd go down and put others, but Paul Proteus, Stardust, and Spetsnaz would be my top 3 in that order. Yeah, good choice. It's like we're talking about rock bands or something. You know, name me your 3 top rock bands or something like that. Any comments about male friendship, guys? Like, I'd be interested to hear from you. Type in during the stream, super chat, or just put 3 yellow emojis, 3 yellow circles before your comment. Be involved in this if you've got any thoughts on this. And while you get your thoughts together, I'll wait and I will read some of your comments in my comments section on my YouTube channel. So let's go there. Here we go. All right. Aren't I technologically adept today? Actually, no, I'm not. I need to make this smaller. There we go. All right. Let's talk about male friendships. JJ says, I thought I had at least 2 to 3 friends for a couple of decades. Turned out I was greatly mistaken. It's far better to be alone than in bad company. I agree. I can say that I have no friends, only acquaintances. I don't have very many friends today, not true friends. The people I talk to that I really connect to with friends, there are a couple that I talk to regularly, and while I didn't talk to Spetsnaz regularly, it was because mainly that he didn't really like being online. He lived life out there, but if he spent time online, like myself or Kara or Boffin, like we would be sort of like a really close, tight knit of friends that would talk all the time. But it depends on the lifestyle someone has. But yeah, I don't really have many true, deep, close friendships, male friendships today that I could really share my inner world with. I have one or two really good friends, lifelong friends, but I can't really share with them the depth of everything of who I am, just because they don't have the vocabulary or way of speaking to me. So it's not really their fault. They try, but I'm pretending to have a conversation at that depth with them, and I just can't. With Stephanie, I do, and she's a female, but then again, I can have those depth conversations with her, which is a reason why I'm with her. But I haven't really got that depth with anyone in my real life that I see often. Online, I do. So you take it where you can get it. David P says, I have one male friend I've known for 26 years. We've been through a lot together, but I've learned there are things about him I just won't get from him. Yes. You sound like me. It doesn't make him any less of a friend. Yeah. He's just incapable of doing certain things that are important to me. So I've learned to adjust my expectations. Yeah, adjusting your expectations. This is an important thing that I think I should do a discussion on. Good point, David. You want to be happy? Adjust your expectations. Women, friends, anything. You'll be a lot happier. Things will be a lot clearer. There's nothing more pointless and useless than butting your head against a brick wall, wanting someone to change. We hate it when women try to change us. This is who I am. But we do it too. Society does it to us. Like, make your expectations realistically. Modify them realistically so you have a better life, a better quality of life, and a more stable life. Hikadachi. It's a really good question, and one that is difficult to quantify. At 42, married with kids, it has been a challenge to maintain a good male friendship. Let me just put this up. Good male friendships that are akin to my teens and 20s. I don't think you can realistically have them like for like, but anyway, I'll read the rest. Today my mates are around hobbies or activities that I do. One is karate, going to the competition today, so I'll miss your podcast. And the other, outdoors, paintball, hunting groups. The second group has my closer mates, but I still think the friendships are closer. I don't think the friendships are as close as they could be. Apologies for my speech today. I've got this ulcer at the back of my tongue that is always hitting the spot in every word I say. So if I sound like I'm on Novocaine after a dentist, you know why. Where was I? My second group, he says, my second group has my closer mates, but I don't think the friendships are as close as they used to be. Think of it in terms of someone dropping what they are doing to help you out. Yeah, but see, my high school friends are the same, Heiku Dachi. I mention them, I honor them because they deserve it, and they'll always be my lifelong friends. And when we catch up nostalgically. I need to find out who they are as people in real time now and refresh who they are. But I always relate to them reflexively as the guys from high school, and we do each other, right? So I think that's natural. If you're honest, a lot of your high school friends now, if you're much older, you probably wouldn't be close friends with them if you met them today. Objectively speaking, let's be honest about it. But you honor the investment in time and who they've been, and they've been there all the time. And also, I've no doubt there's a couple of them that if I would need help, like moving a couch, they would be there for me. And in an emergency, they would. Some of them, unfortunately, they wouldn't be. But I think it's natural for old relationships when you're younger, because you change and so do they. It's sad, but they change. Same as people pass away. It's a natural part of life. But I'll read the rest of your comment. He says, I see this in a lot of men my age and older getting more stoic as they age, relying on themselves more and more. Yeah. If you can't find somebody who's who you are now and where you are, that's the hard bit. We make less and less friends. We're less and less open because we know ourselves more and more as we age, and we're much more specific. We mistrust a lot. We're less naive, but also sometimes we're a lot more stubborn in areas we should be flexible in order for us to have more friends and let new friends in. Sometimes we're so stubborn, we naturally lose friends, and we can't help that because people go their own paths. They have kids, they move countries, they change who they are, they slightly deviate, and you go off on your own. And if you refuse to be open and a decent person and know how to love and reciprocate and be fair and balanced and not be a child, like I was ranting about earlier in this stream, you are going to be more and more and more alone and blame the world. And you're going to regress. You're getting older and you're getting tougher and you think, I'm just a grumpy old man. But you might look like a grumpy old man, but inside you're a scared, alone 5-year-old that has mummy issues and abandonment issues. But you think you're some stoic, strong, older man, and you are the tough cliche. You might not be. You might not be. Look at the conversations you have. Look at the language you use in your comment section. Are you acting? Do you join in with the other? Do you join in with the other teenagers and you're like 47 or something? Spurging out with them, high-fiving 18-year-olds at a sports bar about how dumb women are or how stupid human is. As elders used to say, have a look at yourself. Lord of Raccoons. I get a feeling that everyone who has Lord of before their avatar is an influence of Stardust, because Stardust has given them this name. He says, a lot of male friendships seem rather fake to me. There is often one alpha male who the lesser males orbit around trying to feed on his residual energy. Yep. That is my friend that I have a falling out with. He wanted to be the alpha. He wanted to be in control all the time. And we often butted heads. I often said, like, out of all the guys, you seem like my cousin that I keep getting into a headlock and fighting with because you annoy the hell out of me. And we laughed about it until we didn't laugh about it anymore. He continues. Yeah, he was often the self-appointed alpha male that everyone had to orbit around. And if you didn't, he'd punish you. Okay, Lord of Raccoons continues. Often the orbiters secretly despise his success and don't even like him as they hope to usurp him. Or there is no alpha male in the group, so it turns into a struggle of one-upmanship and desperate attempts to be seen as the alpha male. It is rare that a male relationship occurs where both men can proceed as equals. Yeah, or... not equals in terms of, because that term has gotten a bad rap today, but just respect each other as different men. Respect each other as men. That's the equal bit. You're both individual men, but you're not equal in terms of you're the same. None of us are. Oh, my stomach is gurgling. Why am I telling you that? You probably can't even hear it because of this microphone. A relationship where they can be fully open and vulnerable with each other and be truly supportive, without the fear or of accusations or homosexuality leading to no expressions of care or love for another. Yeah, this whole thing of, I don't do feelings because that's chick stuff. We do mathematics and stoicism and making money and building a business and an empire and dominating and power, dominance, power. And that's how we're going to have relationships. I'm going to force a woman to get into my frame. And she will be a dog on a leash. It's just, you don't know how to be a friend. You don't know how to have compassion. You don't know how to love. No wonder no one's going to trust you. Take your power away, and you're just Caesar waiting to get stabbed in the back by your so-called friends that you pay for. No expressions of love, care, or love for one another. Yeah, I agree. I've only had 2 male friends in my life that I had a true connection with. The rest of them, I always felt like I had to put on a front for, or act counter to my own morals for, so as to win their continued favor. And this isn't friendships. That's just being desperate for acceptance. I'm going to pin that. That's a great comment. I think a lot of guys experience this. Luke says honesty. Be honest. But this is a really great comment, Lord of Raccoons. Very astute. Where you feel like you always have to put on a front counter to your morals. You can't just say who you are, what you think, for fear of them coming down on you. It sounds like a group of girls where they all say, oh, you look amazing. You look so great. Oh, thanks. And then when the girl leaves, like, what a bitch. That's what a lot of guys seem like today. We should have tougher skin, not for women, for ourselves. So be offended by less, guys. Unless it's personal, I'll give you a piece of advice, take it or leave it. Is be offended by something that's personal. Like when someone says, you are a such and such. If someone says, Bobby, you're an arsehole, then that's offensive because you're actually calling me an arsehole. But if they disagree with a point of view, or they do something different, or sorry, I couldn't make it. Don't learn to be offended by nothing except a direct insult that is an invitation to a fight. Otherwise, be stoic. Don't just say the words. If you are complaining about men being shamed, first be a man. And this isn't me saying man up in a way that women shame you, but that's like, I just can't respect these 5-year-olds anymore. I'm sorry you never had a father. But if I can't pat a dog that keeps biting me all the time. I can't save you from drowning if you keep pulling me under. So, great comment. Anyway, have a read of it. Lord of Raccoons put a really nice comment down. So, let's see. Any further comments during the stream? Prince Revolver, thank you very much for the super chat. You don't have to super chat, but I really appreciate when you do. Prince Revolver's always super chatting, so I really, really thank you, man. It contributes to the channel. Join the channel. All super chats get read. Sometimes I miss comments, but if you want to really make sure you give yourself the best chance for me to read your comment, please, 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 if you're not going to super chat, add 3 smiley faces before your comment, like this example here. And I will do my best to see it during the live stream as I am blabbing. Prince Revolver says, people online tend to bond through trauma and drama, which leads to exhausting and nauseating relationships. Yeah, I feel like a lot of online comment section trolling is the therapy that people don't want to go to. I really feel that it really is. It's not friendship. You know, you've heard of people that go to therapy and go, oh, my therapist, like they're their friend. And they have this very personal relationship. Online, I think that a lot of online groups and comment sections and the way they speak is just trauma bonding, and they are just an alternative to going to therapy. And sometimes they're great. If you have good people to talk to and you insist on good, meaningful conversations, they can be really good. But unfortunately, the majority of them are childish. Just look at the most popular so-called the boyosphere channels out there. They're not manosphere channels anymore, as far as I can tell. Oh, you're shaming men. No, I'm shaming children. They don't resemble adult conversation. They just don't. They don't resemble anything respectful. They resemble conversations that your grandfather would smack you at the back of the head for. But they are. They're exhausting and nauseating. Intruder6 says, can I ask when you think the manosphere began going downhill? Starting to think when mainstream and people could monetize and make it a business, it became something else. Yeah, I think about that time. I think when I think Coltane first verbalized it this way, and I agree with him, that as soon as YouTube started monetizing things, and even now, even if you don't monetize, YouTube now just can monetize any video because it's on their platform. But as soon as they made it an option, people started making a buck from it. And there's a odd human dynamic that is kind of rational, that when someone does something for you, people want to, because even before monetization, I always had people wanting to donate. Give me your PayPal, human. Give me, I want to donate. I really like that video. You really helped me out. I was going through a tough time. I really want to say thank you. And it's nice. Someone wants to throw you a beer, a couple of bucks, just to say thank you, because they can't in person shake your hand or say thank you to you, right? So it's the easiest way to say thank you parasocially in a financial way. I kind of get it. But then once it became a business model for hucksters and shysters and salesmen, where people have above their live streams, like donate, like it's just a money making. It looks like some chick's OnlyFans live stream. Then it's just become and then people gaslight themselves and no, I'm doing this to help people, and the chicks who are camming are like, well, I'm giving these lonely men an experience. I really think I'm helping them. It's like, really? Again, people can do what they want, and people who pay for it can, you're responsible for the money you give to certain channels. I give my money towards people and things that I find worthy. I'm subscribed to a few things that I pay for monthly that really give me value as well. So there's nothing wrong with it. And I think that these guys that expect you to give everything for free is like you get what you pay for, but also expecting everything for free. I think it bleeds also into how they have relationships with people. It's very transactional in that kind of very, I go out with you, you need to sleep with me. In the same way women are like, well, I deserve a diamond ring, or I deserve this. It's just think about how you're having these relationships. Melee says, I have found a lot of male friendships can be based on proximity of physical relationships. For example, at basketball games, the team all meet at university. Yeah, I have one or two friends that I catch up with regularly just because they're close, and I've known them for years. But I remember one guy, he moved away. He rented a house that was like an hour away, and I didn't really see him that often. I might have visited him once or twice in the year, but he's moved back here to where he used to live before, and now we catch up every couple of weeks, every week or every 2 weeks. So proximity has a thing, familiarity. But that's true. That's true as well. Good point, Melee. Evil Clown finally managed to catch human live. Am I all that you hoped I'd be? Sean C. He said, I dropped a so-called friend who was needier than anyone I've known. He'd thrown a tantrum over the most insignificant issues and backstabbed me and pissed other friends off. Yeah, and listen to if your friends backstab your other friends behind their back. That's not a friend you want to have either. That's another schoolgirl. All right, any final super chats, questions, or comments you want me to read? Throw them up now. I'll just go through and say hello to some of the regulars. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Let's read some of the comments. I did a post that even earlier. They got more comments around male friendship. What is it and what it isn't? Indie Vinyl says, when you're just happy to see each other, even after a long period, and no guilt or accusation is made or felt that the other person didn't contact you or so. It's just no stress and a feeling of no pressure at all and genuine love when you are with real homies. I see these guilt feelings happening with women towards women relationships a lot more, in my opinion. I agree. Interesting tidbit when I had a conversation with Quaz yesterday, where we hadn't seen each other for 4 years. And I'd consider him an online friend as well. I hope one day I get to meet him face to face as well. And I hope I never get to make a eulogy about him. But he's an example of a friend where we know each other as people and we don't act like children because we know the difference between an insult and a joke. If you get each other's humor, you know how the other person looks in 3 dimension because you're astute enough to be able to relate properly and you see the person clearly because you know how to see. That's very important. You know how to see. You don't interpret things and infer things. But anyway, why I wanted to bring up the conversation I had with Quaz yesterday after not talking to each other for 4 years or more is that I said to him, well, you've seen I've had a lot of changes in my life and I got married. And he says, a lot of people are surprised. And he quite calmly said, I'm not. And I laughed and I said well, okay, I'm looking at it from people who know me who are more my friends. It's like, yeah, I guess not. If you know who I am, it's not a big shock. So it's a big difference if you know how to relate or if you're interested in knowing how to relate. Some of these comments where you notice what a male friend is and what they're not. Friends don't backstab you. They don't backstab your other friends when they're not around. They don't treat you like a girlfriend replacement. You don't play schoolyard games, schoolgirl games. You don't get in the comments and act like schoolgirls. You don't act like girls in the nightclub toilet when she's crying and saying, "Oh, he broke up with me," and we all say, and the girls are saying, "Oh, you're too good for him. You're too good for him." No, you're not. Maybe you're terrible. Stop acting like girls and girlfriend replacements. Go to therapy if you need to, or get better male friends. Stop hanging out with girls who look like men, who are male. Anyway, body knowledge. Once upon a time, I had conventional male friends, went to the gym together, etc., etc. Then they lost their minds and ghosted me. Died or aren't worth the time because they didn't value mine. Life is so much about luck. Once upon a time, I had some good friends. There is a lot of luck, time and place with life. There is. But what you do when you have that opportunity, when you get a good friend and the maintenance you have and how you treat them, or how much you let it go, take it for granted and let it die. I don't regret the time I spent with Spets. Spets and I we were supposed to have a recorded chat and catch up in December of last year, just over 6 months ago. But Christmas happened and he had to cancel. He said, "Sorry, dude, I've got to fly to family. Let's do this in New Year, January, February." We got caught up. He traveled, went to Thailand. We never got around to it. And unfortunately, he's passed away recently. But I don't regret maintaining a relationship with him. I don't regret maintaining a relationship with Karu and Boffin and Quaz now again. If you don't maintain them, they pass. And some of them are luck. But once you get the luck, do something with the luck. You can make your own luck by calling a friend and making it happen. But if you just sit there with arms crossed, expecting the girl of your dreams to knock on your door, or expecting your friends to always give 100% before you'll take a step in that direction and give 10%, then it's a you problem, not a them problem. But it does. I agree that there is a lot of luck in time and place, but also there's no luck involved once you get that time and place to maintain it or let it go. Try, whether it's romantic or a platonic friendship with a bro. Maintain the friendship if it's worthwhile to you, if you're being treated well, and if there's something there, something worthwhile, that there's an exchange you both get something out of. But there is luck, but after luck, it is skill. Prince Revolver says, it is possibly one of the few relationships in which a man isn't a constant state of being unsure of where he stands. Yeah, a real friendship with a guy is he doesn't care if you hang out with other guys. He's not checking where you are. He's not playing for tit for tat. He doesn't get jealous. He's rock solid. And that solidness is something that guys really cherish, and is something they find so hard around the typical Western female. And when you find a woman that has friend qualities, and I know you can't get male friend, like she's not going to be a dude, but if you can get a lot of male friend qualities where you can get consistency, honesty, they don't spurg out, they can take your humor, they know what a joke is, they're not up and down emotionally, you're not walking on eggshells, that's a good partner. And that's also a good male friend. Male friends have a lot of extras that you can't get from even the best female relationships. So check yourself how you're acting with your friends and how you maintain male friendships. I don't think a lot of guys know how to have male friendships, let alone any relationships. They focus on the Freudian mother replacement relationships of romantic ones, but I think they've got a lot more problems they really need to look in the mirror for or go to therapy for. I'm not shaming. I'm just talking realistically. You want to fix your problem, look in the mirror. Dave Shaw says, more and more difficult with men of younger generations. Yeah. I'm Gen X and I am divorced. I've been around a lot of men who are millennials and younger. Millennials are almost as difficult as boomers to have a real relationship with, real friendship with. Gen X and much younger I can be friends with. That's interesting. The rest are playing games a lot and can't seem to actually listen and talk. That's actually very interesting what you say. I would agree somewhat. Gen X and older, and then you've got this gap of Y millennials, but then very young. I think they're kind of curious, maybe because X and millennials have kind of like wiped the slate clean, and they're hungry for guidance, the much younger people. And so they're much more open, whereas the spurging out and the no rules of millennials and Gen Y, there's nothing there. There's no fruit. There's no sense to be made of a lot of stuff there. So maybe. T-Dog says, humor, shared interests, lack of pretense, respect. A good male friendship lifts you up. Zero neediness. Yes. I'm going to pin that. That's very good. Simple but good, T-Dog. Especially humor. Humor is a sign of intelligence, is one of the primary, I think, top 3 signs of intelligence, top 4. Humor. You don't take things too seriously, and you know the difference between a joke and humor. You can laugh at yourself. So humor with others and yourself. Whereas most people out there who act like children, they can laugh at everyone else. In fact, they insist on laughing at everyone else to feel good, but they can't laugh at themselves. A lot of female comedians are like that as well. A lot of women can't take a joke. They can't laugh at themselves. They think they're beautiful. They can't self-deprecate, even jokingly. But if you can't humble yourself, even as a joke, because you know your self-worth, but you can, I'm an idiot, then you will never have a disarming, humble relationship where you can have a sense of humor with somebody. And humor is a really big under talked about element in building trust with someone, whether it's with a romantic relationship or with the guys, with a friendship. Very, very under talked about thing. Let me see. I think that I've got a comment in the comments section. Let me see. Yes. Okay. Unplug says, that backstabbing behavior was what I noticed from my high school buddies who I thought would be lifelong friends. Yep. Made me very weary of friendships after the backstabbing gossip. Shadow Ghost, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. He says, cheers, thanks for the grounding in this mad old world. If there's anything I want to do in my channel, is just have very honest, real conversations. We're not saying, oh, they're stupid, we're perfect. Whether it's men, women, just be fair, be mature, Put your hand up when you screwed up. Learn how to not be guarded when you don't need to, and know when to rationally guard yourself for self-respect and boundaries. Karu says, a real friend will call you names and give you a hard time before you do something stupid to protect you. Fake friends will be nice to you and support you while offering rational convos. I remember, I think Karu was one of the first people out of all of my friends online that, because I talk to him the most and I consider him probably my best online friend, where I said to him, I got married. And he laughed and he said, congratulations. They were the first words out of his mouth. And part of me was like, yeah, of course he would say that. And when I dropped the video of getting married, Spetsnaz also, he didn't berate me. He didn't come down on me and shame me. He didn't congratulate me because I hadn't talked to him since. But he actually just wished me well and he didn't put me down. But yeah, just learn from guys you respect. Hopefully you respect guys who are upstanding. Hopefully your barometer. Because if you respect trashy guys who just talk negatively and they're all about drama and they think this can't be shit and I'm perfect, I can only imagine what you're going to be like, how your selection mechanism is when you go out on dates. Interesting. Karu says again, they will say that men need to respect each other just because they have the same thing dangling between their legs. But when you crash and burn, they pretend to empathize. You are an a-hole. Yeah. They're very quick to come down on you, like schoolgirls. I keep saying schoolgirls because it's a very shorthand way of us understanding what I mean by the cliche stereotype. And if there's any woman who get offended by me saying schoolgirls, all I can say is have a sense of humor. I'm not talking about you. Prince Revolver says, I was raised by both parents. I always find it interesting when you speak about men who have mummy issues or look for mothering from women romantically. I think for most of us, me included, I had to, when I was trying to work out my problems with women especially, because I noticed when I became a young adult, I was really solid and I had a lot of control and knew who I was. I could stand up for my values and principles with everything. But when it came to women, it was like a light switch and I became a 5-year-old again. And then when I started to look at how I grew up and my childhood, and not that my mother did anything wrong, but that how I acted and how I was around my mother and girls, and how I was taught that women were perfect and sugar and spice, and went out into the world with these expectations. And then later on, when you become an adult, you need to cut those apron strings from your mother to sort of become an adult. And hopefully you have a father that helps you do that. My father was a good man, but he didn't teach me to cut the apron strings of women. He did a little bit, but kind of like in a man up way, but didn't sit me down and have a real deep conversation like this, and the hows and the whys and all of that. It was just like a slap at the back of a figurative slap at the back of the head saying, women, just man up, who cares? And it was like, I need a little bit more than that. You can't just say 2. You need to tell me 1 + 1 = 2. You can't just say, it's 2. I'm the kind of kid who needed to touch the hot stove and then have an empirical discussion and have a 3-dimensional concept of it to understand it critically. All right. Any last comments? I feel like this has been an enjoyable stream, even if I've ranted a little bit. Gone just over an hour. Any final super chats or comments? I think it's a very important discussion, what male friendships look like. I talked with Quaz, and he agreed with me. He said this. He said, if men can really get hold of and be in control of their relationships with women, they'll find everything else very easy. And I think also as a secondary one, because men aren't addicted to male friendships, aren't manipulated by men as much. But men are really manipulated and can't really control, a lot of them who have a really severe addiction to women and severe mummy issues. And it's not derogatory. I had a little bit of it when I was younger, and I had to consciously cut those mummy issue strings to a healthy degree where I love my mother and I can relate to her as a son. But I can't be her 5-year-old anymore. No matter how many times she pinches my cheeks and, you're still my little boy. It's like, okay, mum. But I know how I love my mother as a man. You have to make a decision about how to do that. But male friendships as well. It's a blind spot for a lot of guys in this space, that they don't act like respectable men that other men could trust, and they don't even see it. And again, I'm not shaming guys for this, but it's a blind spot. How are you conducting yourself? How are you typing in the comment sections? Do you get off on negativity and bitching? Do you resemble the kind of women that you complain about? Do you talk like a man, or do you shame like a woman? Are you expecting things from men like a girlfriend would? Are you having a girlfriend replacement relationship with the bros? You can say bro this and bro that and brothers, but if you're acting like a bunch of chicks, I don't care what post-it note you slap in front of the guys or yourself. I know the way you're acting. Words mean very little. We've talked about, the Manosphere talks about this. Do not trust what women say. Trust their actions. Don't trust what men say in these spaces, guys. Trust the way they act, how they write, and their conduct, their virtue and morality. Let's see. Do they apologize? Can they put their hand up and say, yeah, I screwed up. Joke's on me. Or do they always deflect jokes? Do they always deflect screwing up? Do they gaslight you? Are you walking on eggshells in the manosphere? Someone earlier in the stream mentioned how whether it was online space or some of his old high school friends, he felt like more and more the only way he could have a relationship with them is to walk on eggshells. Or, you go to a sect and you have to read from their Bible and sing their hymns. Otherwise, you can't read outside the script, or everyone is going to come down on you and kick you out of their church. Is that what the friend is? And I would say your friends are clear and very communicative, and they're not easily triggered. If I were to give you one final piece of advice about how to conduct yourself, like one calibrating piece of advice is calibrate yourself to not be offended at the drop of a hat. Stop being offended, because a lot of guys get offended at the drop of a hat like a girl, because then they can act macho. It's like, oh, no, man, and this and that, and I want to fight. You're getting triggered like a girl. You're expressing it cartoonishly, like a superhero, like a guy going to Comic-Con and acting like Superman and putting his hands on his hips, but you're not acting like a guy. Don't be triggered. Calibrate yourself to be triggered by very, very little, and have a sense of humor. And from that, you might be able to have better conversations and come to some little enlightening moments that'll help you be happier and better, and let go of shit and people and content that you used to watch, and now you watch better content. Most men need to forgive their mothers, as in do it in person. Then I think only then you can deal with women more solidly. Yeah. Depends how your mother treated you as well. Like the extent to which, there are a lot of cases I've heard of where, as Stefan Molyneux would say, people defoo their family. Foo meaning family of origin, where they no longer talk to their family because their family is still pig-headed and they treated them really badly and they traumatized them, and they can't even have an open conversation about how they were treated as a kid because their parents are like, how disrespectful, how you don't talk to your mother like that, oh, it's perfect, you're the problem child. So then, Adam Super C says, thanks for always good content and making me think. Cheers, human. Thank you. Thanks for turning up, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this stream. I think it was a good one. And yeah, learn what friendships look like. Learn what a good person looks like, and learn what someone you can trust looks like. What a good friendship looks like, or what a potential good relationship might look like. A relationship takes a lot more time because there's more on the line, and it's more. There is a lot more on the line, a lot more expectations, and a lot more one-on-one. Whereas a friend, it doesn't care how many friends you have. Your romantic partner does care. And also, you won't be able to sustain a committed long-term relationship with a woman because of her biology as well. She can't help how she feels when there are other women around. You like it, she doesn't. But friendships, there are fundamental qualities between the two that overlap, and learn what those are, because those will help you learn what trust looks like in a woman or a friend, you know? So I think it's fairly important. Anyway, like, subscribe, join the channel. I'll see you in the next video or stream. If you have a microphone, jump on my Discord server. I have a public Discord server again. Learn how to use your microphone. Jump on there. I'll see you in a little while for a bit of a chat. Let other people talk, and let's discuss male friendships. And jump on Discord if you have a mic, and we'll talk about your examples of a friend and what you've learned. Friends you've had a falling out with, and friends that are still around that you really value, and what characteristics they have that you really are thankful for and that you need to be able to talk and, you know, have someone to rely on and have a relationship with. So, interesting discussion. Instead of just woman bad, man good. All right. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your Saturday evening if you're in the US. Your very early morning in Europe. And if you're in Australia or New Zealand or Fiji or wherever on this side of the hemisphere, happy Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday. It's a beautiful day here in Melbourne, Australia. And I'll catch you. Watch the Spetsnaz tribute I did. I just want more people to watch it. He was a really good guy, and I want people to know how much of a good guy he was. And go watch his videos. Download all his videos if you can. Keep him for prosperity. Great dude. And yeah, I'll miss him as much as I think a lot of people will. All right, see you guys. Have a good weekend. And remember, your bros are not a girlfriend replacement, and they shouldn't feel like a girlfriend. They should feel easy. All right, have a good weekend, and I'll catch you later. Bye.